everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the iPhone SE 2022. The most controversial iPhone in probably the last 2 years is right here. And I gotta say, I've been enjoying it. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably know that already. If you haven't seen it, I enjoy it. So the thing with this phone, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about specs here because most of the specs are not very overwhelming. It's not a very impressive phone in that department, other than the fact that they do have the A15 Bionic, which is the same processor that's in the iPhone 13, and apparently even the benchmarks are the same. It's not something that's been substantially throttled, and they just say it has an A15 Bionic processor in there. So you have the most powerful smartphone processor in the world in this phone, which means you can play Fortnite maxed out, you can play Genshin Impact, you can play the most demanding games in the world on this tiny little phone. Which, hey, some people like that. There are some reasons it's actually kind of nice because, you know, your fingers are so close together and it's not like trying to hold this gigantic phone. Not trying to make a argument here that you should go buy this and use it for a gaming phone, but you could. And I think one of the things that actually enables that this year is this tremendously good battery life. Now, I gotta say, there's an asterisk next to that, tremendously good for an iPhone SE. So the iPhone SE has never been known for battery life. Typically, wouldn't get you through a full day. Maybe some people it would, maybe 20-30% of people that used it, but for somebody like me who's typically using a phone that's got 4,000 or 5,000 milliamps, a substantially larger battery, these wouldn't cut it in the past, and this one right here will get me 6 hours of screen on time. It will last me all day long. Standby time is actually pretty good too. With the A15 Bionic in there, it's actually very, very good with power consumption and all that. So they did bump it up. I believe it was like an 1,821 milliamp battery in the iPhone SE 2020. This one, just over 2,000, makes a big difference, and it's even using 5G, Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. So it does have some things, though, that does keep it from burning too much battery, like the ability to switch on and off 5G, depending on if it's actually got a 5G signal or if it needs it. And that's one of the features with iOS, what are we on, 15 now? And everything else that goes along with it. iOS 15 has been great with the iPhones. It really changed a lot of stuff with the iPhone 13, now with the SE 2022, battery management, power management, all that stuff, antenna management, and it actually has a good signal too. That was one thing we haven't historically had with previous iPhones, especially the last couple of years. It did get better with the 12, but up until like before the 11 and the 12, the signal was terrible, battery life was not good. The 11 Pro and Pro Max really changed that, and this guy right here has been revolutionary in the small iPhone department on battery. And of course, you can see this cool little guy right there. The home button, you can use this. You've got Touch ID. It works remarkably well, so no problems there. And there is no facial recognition. It doesn't have the notch up top, but I think a lot of people would gladly take the notch over this giant bezel on the top. It does have a big bezel up there. It has a big bezel down here. You pretty much know what you're getting into when you buy this phone. It's not like there's any surprise or mystery there. It's effectively the same phone design that we've had since the iPhone 6, 7, 8, iPhone SE 2020. But I'm okay with that. And I think a lot of people that want to buy this phone are. I think that there's not a lot of people that want to buy this phone that don't like the design because by and large, most people I've talked to are like, this is an archaic design. It's old technology. It's overpriced. It's a trash phone. And the funny thing is originally a lot of people were like, hey, the battery life is going to be terrible. Do not get it. And then it turned out to have actually really good battery life on par with a lot of phones that have 4,000 and 5,000 milliamp batteries. So iPhone, Apple, they've changed things. They have probably changed some opinions, and they definitely set the record straight. The A15 and the 2,000 milliamp battery, phenomenal performance for what you get out of here. Now, it's very easy to get that performance because it only has a 4.7-inch screen. It's not a big screen at all, and it's only 750p resolution. Basically, that's an enlarged 720p regular HD. Not full HD, not 1080p, not Quad HD+, not 4K, 750p. And that's actually okay. It's over 300 pixels per inch. It looks good on here. You can't tell the difference between that and 1080p on a screen this small, so it's really not even anything to worry about. If you want to get wrapped around the axle, you can. I used to get wrapped around the axle on that stuff, and then I'm like, but you really can't tell much of a difference. If you were to put a 1080p resolution on here, you wouldn't really be able to tell any difference at all, I don't think. Because I've used much higher resolutions, lower resolutions on much bigger screens. Like when I use my S22 Ultra, I can scale that down to the same resolution as this phone, it still looks gorgeous on the S22 Ultra. So I'm not gonna cast any stones at Apple over doing that with this. It also helps keep the battery consumption down. It's also a 60 hertz refresh rate. I wish it was 120. I have been so spoiled with the smooth scrolling displays, 120 hertz. It's been really, really nice on all these modern phones nowadays. So I wish they had it on here. It is a stark change switching from a 120 hertz to this, but I do think that the smaller screen does help minimize that. You don't realize it as much, but definitely there's a tangible, noticeable difference there. I'm not even gonna pretend like there's not. One of the big elephants in the room with this phone is that it only has 64 gigs of baseline starting storage. So the $429 price gets you 64 gigs. Today, I started getting the little limit sign saying that you're out of storage. I switched over from an iPhone 13 Pro. I'm actually recording with it right now. I've had this phone since the day it came out. I have not felt like switching back to my 13 Pro. No, I'm not doing a giveaway. No, you can't have it. I need it to record my videos. So, yes, I actually enjoy this more. I like how small it is. I like the small form factor. I like how thin it is. I like how light. I like the value proposition. I never really liked iPhones from the beginning. I was always a BlackBerry person. I dabbled in Android for a little while it took them a long time to recover from the storm and figure out what they were doing with BlackBerry 10. But as soon as BlackBerry 10 came out, bam, I went that day and got rid of my Galaxy S3, traded it in, got my Z10, happy as could be again, didn't look back until, well, things got bad with BlackBerry. So a lot of you guys may or may not know that. I'm a BlackBerry guy, probably the biggest BlackBerry fan in the world. And I wasn't a big Apple fan. I just really, really wasn't. So I've used it kind of as a utility phone. Yes, I like having iMessage. Yes, I have a big family. I communicate with them all the time. If you've seen my other videos, like I got 6 kids. I got 8 brothers and sisters. Huge family. Almost every single one of them use iPhones. So it makes it easier. Group chats and being able to play iMessage games with my kids and just a lot of different stuff. But I know a lot of people do want iPhones just because of that. A lot of people don't necessarily like iPhones, but they get them for that reason, or they get it because it's an enterprise device, it's a work phone, it's been given to them, and then they carry an Android on the side for more stuff like content consumption, playing games, just surfing the internet, stuff like that, and use this as a primary communications device. And let me take the case off here real quick. And if you're in the market, this right here, this is a Nomad case. Nomad makes a lot of amazing stuff. This is not really a plug for them. Just letting you know, I love their leather cases. I think this is the best case for the iPhone SE 2022. It's actually an iPhone 8 case. You can get it on eBay for less than 10 bucks. It's got their Horween leather on here. Amazing case. I've reviewed so many of them for the years. And it's blue leather. I love this thing. I got the spec Presidio grip case. I also got the Apple silicone case. And I ditched both of those. They're both like sitting on a cabinet, or they're sitting somewhere right now. And I've been using this. Prime time in love with this one. The phone itself looks nice. It comes in 3 colors. It comes in Starlight. I think it's called Starlight or Starburst or something like that. It basically kind of a white color. Then you get this one right here, which is Midnight Blue. Or I think it's called Midnight, but it actually is blue. At first I thought it was just a variation of kind of like black and gray. It actually does, under the right light, there you go. You can kind of see it's got a blue tint to it. Really sharp. I do like it a lot. They also have the Apple, the red color. So you can do that as well. Product red color. And yeah, you can see there's only one camera here on the back. It's a 12 megapixel camera. I believe it's the same as the one on the 2020 model. They did add the deep fusion stuff, which is you got the AI computational photography stuff using the A15 Bionic chip. It does make photos look better. This does take better photos than the 2020 model. So keep that in mind. And it will shoot 4K 60 on the back, which is kind of neat. Only 4K 30 on the front. It will do 1080p at 60 on the front and the back. So that's a nice feature there. It has a 7 megapixel front-facing selfie camera, which is satisfactory. It works fine. And I've taken a lot of pictures with this. I'll show you a picture here today. This is a brisket that I'm making right now. It's wrapped up and it's on the grill for another like 7 hours. I'm cooking this sucker for like 18 hours, but it's going along nicely. It works fine if you've got good lighting. It takes very, very excellent pictures. I think you'll be happy with it. I don't have any problems with it at all, unless it's in low light. Low light photography and nighttime photography, not very good. It doesn't have a night mode on here, which they could have easily put on there, especially because so much of that is done with the computational photography. It would be able to be processed with the chip and really patch it up and make it probably look a lot better. They didn't do that. Of course, Apple is not going to give us everything. They left that out. probably just to make you buy a more expensive phone if you want it. Personally, it's not any area of heartache for me because I don't take low light nighttime pictures, so I don't really care that much. But I know some people do, especially as you're getting back out in the world. You want to go out to the bar, you want to go to the restaurant, you want to go take your significant other, your loved one out for a romantic meal and take a picture at the low light dinner table with the candlelight. This isn't the camera for that. But yeah, it takes perfectly good pictures. I've been impressed with it. And again, I like the form factor. I like how light it is. I like you can use it one-handed. You can type one-handed. You can glide type one-handed. That's the biggest thing for me. It's so convenient and easy to use, and it lasts all day long. One of the complaints that I have about iPhones is they're heavy. They're heavy AF, especially the Pro models. Like, they're made out of stainless steel. So the suckers have some serious weight to them, especially the Pro Max. I wouldn't even get the Pro Max anymore, and I traditionally like bigger phones, but that's kind of changed a little bit lately. I have been gravitating more towards the smaller, slimmer phones just because, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of over like the 6.8, 6.7 inch phone, gigantic sucker carried around all the time. This right here, right up my alley. And if they were to make this and like find a way to do the bezels, get rid of them and just have it wrap around Touch ID and then get rid of the top one, that would be probably like the ultimate phone for me as far as the iPhone goes. I would like that a lot. I would really like to see an iPhone SE Plus. I think that would be really cool too. It was rumored when the SE 2020 came out and it got scrapped. So yeah, other couple of things. You still got the mute switch. You still got the volume rocker. You still have, it has stereo speakers. The speakers are actually nice and loud. They complement the phone very well. I like that. The screen brightness is overall pretty good. It's not the brightest in the world, but it works fine. If you've used one before, it's going to look the same. The thing is we've got these new phones nowadays that do 1,000 nits, 1,500 nits, peak 1750 nits brightness or whatever with the S22 Ultra. They get so bright, you can see them outside, no problem. Inside, you'll have zero issues with this. Outside, yes, it will be a little dim whenever you're in direct sunlight. Whether you care about that or not. Charging has actually got an increase. It will support 20-watt charging now, and it charges pretty quick. I did a charging test before. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how quickly it recharged, but it'll do, in half an hour, it'll do 50% battery. Takes maybe about an hour and a half or less to fully charge, which is good. Small battery, 20-watt charging, you'll be good to go. And I was charging with 18 watts. It charged very, very quickly. Very comparable to a lot of the larger flagships that charge faster because they have basically two and a half times the size battery as this does. So they take longer to charge traditionally. This one is good. Battery life solid. Again, 6-hour screen on time. It'll last you all day. IP67 dust and water resistance. You can plop this in the water, accidentally drop it in the pool. I wouldn't recommend it. Clean it off with regular fresh water afterward. If you do get chlorine water, it's not good for the seal. It's not good for the phone. But up to a meter for half an hour, which is pretty good. And then it also has wireless charging as well, so you're covered there if you want to wireless charge this baby on a wireless charger. Accessories are cheap. Here's another point of consideration. I did get a glass screen protector for it straight out of the gate, and I found that just because of the technology and the screen and I guess the digitizer, if you have a glass screen protector, it really desensitizes the screen. You'll find you have to type harder than you would like to, and it's not as accurate with the pickup on the feedback when you touch the screen. I tried two. Neither one of them really were my cup of tea. The newer screens are so much better at it. So when you get this older technology that they combine in here, it's like best processor in the world. Digitizer from 5 years ago. So when you get that combination, putting a film style screen protector on here restores that touch sensitive capacity, and it makes it so much better. And I've actually got one of the matte ones on here, and you can see also it doesn't pick up all the grease and fingerprints. This is an iCares one. I'll put a link down in the description if I remember. And also you can check the description for the phone as well. If you want to pick it up, of course, it's $429. And if you buy it through the link, it's an affiliate link. It helps support the channel, and I get a portion of that back, and it doesn't charge you any extra money. If you don't want to do that, totally fine. You can go search it up and buy it wherever you want. Just letting you know. But this is the iCares one. It comes in like a 3-pack on Amazon. Comes with everything you need to install it. I think I paid $10, and it was like the iPhone 8, iPhone SE 2020. Maybe they updated it with a 2022 label. Works out great. I've been so happy with this. Put a case on it, get a screen protector. You'll be good to go. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think I've probably covered just about everything on here. Of course, you get all the great Apple services, Apple TV, Apple Card, Apple TV Plus, Apple Fit, Apple everything. If you like that stuff, including iMessage, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, you like this form factor, you like the Touch ID, you like the traditional look, this is the phone for you. This is a great phone for kids. It's a great introductory iPhone. A lot of people are like, look, you could get this phone that's so much better. You could get this phone that's so much better. Like, I get that. But there's the value proposition that's there. Also, a lot of people don't care about a lot of that newer stuff. It's like, oh, you get so much better. And I talked to a friend of mine. I'm like, look, you could get all this for $700. He's like, I don't want all that stuff. I'm switching over from an iPhone 8. I want the new one that looks just like the phone I have now. So there's a large demographic out there with this 2G, 3G migration. You probably got a lot of emails about it saying this is shutting down, that's shutting down. You might need a new phone. I think that's what spurred them to do this. So we have this new phone, basically functions the same as the iPhone SE 2020, but better battery life, more power, 5G, and this sucker is going to be supported for who knows how long, because the iPhone 6S is still rocking around, and it's been supported for what, like 6-7 years now, like for forever, really. So this is going to be supported forever, plenty of power. You can do anything that you want with it other than low light photography, and I am frustrated that they only have 64 gigs of storage, but of course they did that with the iPad mini as well. They did that with the regular iPad. They of course want you to pay more money to upsell you and get more stuff so they can make more money off of it and increase those profit margins, because of course it probably costs them an extra $1 to make it 128 versus 64 gigs, and they charge you an arm and a leg for it. But 128 is definitely the sweet spot here. If you don't use a lot of apps, don't play a lot of games, don't take a lot of pictures, you can get away with 64. Me, I hit that really quick. I need at least 128 for a personal usage device, but my iPhone 13 Pro, I got a 512 because I record all these 4K videos all the time. And wow, I'm already at 17 minutes. I thought I was going to get on here and just talk real quick, but I mean, I get going and I'm like one of those old wind-up toys that just goes so the motor runs out. And I got a second wind this evening while I'm barbecuing. I showed the picture. I've got a family thing later today, actually, for the first time in 2.5 years. Really excited about that. I go see my grandmother, aunts, uncles, a lot of my family members, and I surprise them. I'm making a brisket. They don't know it. If they watch this video before I get there around lunchtime, then maybe they'll find out about the surprise. But they listen to me, well, basically for the last 38 years, so they probably don't listen to the full length of a lot of my videos. But I'm excited about that. It's 1 o'clock in the morning right now. Actually, it's like 1:58. So I don't know. I was not going to make a video today, but I got my second wind. I really wanted to get this knocked out. I wanted to get my final review done for this phone so I can move on to the next chapter. I've got a lot of other phones I'm reviewing right now. Oppo Find X5 and the OnePlus 10 Pro. Of course, they're from the same company, but there's a lot of stuff to move on to. I'm still keeping my SIM card in this. I'm still not putting it back in the 13 Pro. I like it a lot. My personal use case scenario, I've really enjoyed it. It's been really refreshing, even though it's older, it's dated. But hey, $429, all the modern things that you want with an iPhone, and it's just a nice, fun experience. So that's all I've got. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for all my supporters. Thank you for everybody who leaves comments, who hits the like button, who subscribes. And of course, if you want that to be you, I want that to be you too. So please hit those things. I'd love to have you here as part of the community, and I try to be very active, engaged with people and comment, and I reply as much as possible. So if you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you're wondering, how come you talk all the time and you don't put pictures, you don't put video clips? Well, I work a full-time job. I have 6 kids. I put out videos every day, and I'm here to talk to you about the products. I'm not here like, oh, look at this cool B-roll. You can see the shot. Look, there's videos all over the place for that. That's not why people typically come here. A lot of people just want my honest, upfront, very straightforward opinion on things. And I just like to talk to you about the phone. I feel like there's so much of that's removed from reviews because it's all, oh, look at this, look at that, pan shot, B-roll here. That stuff is cool. And a lot of times, especially when I do unboxings, first impressions, certain types of videos, I will cover that stuff because you really want to see this stuff up close and personal. In this review process, it's okay, how does it work? What does it do? Is it worth it? And those are things that I think that we could, as adults here, can sit down and talk about. And that's what I do. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was helpful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this now 20-minute video. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to eat some barbecue tomorrow. Hope you'll have a wonderful Sunday. Have a great week. And as always, appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.